Hello peers. Today we will be recreating a commonly prepared dish originating during the Middle Ages, Ember Day Tart. This cheese and onion quiche was named after Ember Day, one of many days of the year during which the consuming of meat was forbidden by the church. To create a meal that was vegetarian yet substantial enough to fill the bellies of the common folk, who needed energy to carry out a full day of work, medieval chefs dreamed up a dish that contained calorie-filled dairy products and eggs. The Ember Day Tart soon rose in popularity and became a staple in the diets of the medieval people, regardless of whether it was Ember Day or not. Now, let's take a look at the ingredients that go into this fabulous dish. First up, we have the eggs. The chicken egg was without a doubt the most important item used in the kitchen during the Middle Ages, with its usage in dishes being surpassed only by bread. Eggs were central in the cookery not only because they were common and cheap, but also because of their extreme versatility. Eggs could be boiled, scrambled, fried, or poached on their own, and they could be used in a variety of different dishes. In today's Ember Day Tart, eggs form the base for the savory filling of the pie. Next, we have soft cheese. Soft cheeses are, as the name implies, cheeses that are less firm than other commonly used cheeses, such as cheddar. The Middle Ages were an important time for the development of cheese, mostly due to the contribution of monks. Monks experimented with different recipes for cheese and ultimately created many of the popular cheese varieties we consume today. I've chosen block faded cheese, an aged crumbly cheese that has a slightly grainy texture for today's pie. Now, over here we have an onion. The onion was one of the three main vegetables eaten during the Middle Ages, the other two being beans and cabbage. Onions were eaten by both high and low classes and were sometimes prescribed as medicine. Sometimes they were even used to pay rent or given as wedding presents. Moving on, we have here some butter. Butter shined during the Middle Ages, as the cooler climates of Europe during that time period allowed butter to be stored for longer than ever before. Although butter was initially used as a spread served on bread, it soon gained widespread popularity for its use in dishes to increase richness. The final ingredients for today's Ember Day Tart are spices and raisins. One of the major changes to food during the Middle Ages was the addition of herbs and spices to recipes. During this time period, the Crusaders were introduced to unusual spices previously unknown to European civilization, such as pepper. Because spices were often imported from Asia, their prices were very high and were usually reserved for the upper classes. The Ember Day Tart we are making today, then, can be seen as something along the lines of an elite version. The first of the spices we'll be using is black pepper. Pepper was the most sought-after spice during this time period, and black pepper was the most expensive out of all the varieties. It was imported to Europe from Asia and later from Africa as well. Other herbs and spices we will be using include cinnamon, sage, and parsley. In this bowl, we have a handful of raisins. Although some of you may think that it is strange that we're using raisins in a savory pie, raisins and the sweetness they bring with them are actually an important component of this dish. The spices and raisins in unison add a very distinct medieval flavor to the Ember Day Tart. Now, let's begin preparing our Ember Day Tart. Here I've cracked 10 eggs in a bowl, and I will now proceed to beat them. The next step is to parboil the onion. Parboiling is the partial cooking of an ingredient so they can finish cooking later in the process. In this case, I have partially cooked and chopped the onions so they can cook faster when they are baking the quiche. Now, preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. In a large bowl, combine the eggs, onions, shredded cheese, butter, raisins, and spices. Now, we pour the mixture into the prepared pie shells. Finally, bake the pies in the oven at 350 degrees for 1 hour. Our pies are finished baking. Oh, wow. Wow. Oh. Oh, this smells amazing. Oh, yes.
Okay, I'll go now.
Alright, these pies will be served alongside some apple cider. Cider was a popular drink during the Middle Ages because water was often unclean. Aww, you guys look so hungry now. If only there was a way that you could taste these Ember Day tarts. Or maybe you can.
Dun dun dun!